you, we'll only keep you standing for not even 3 hours. Okay? Deputy?
Be it known to all present that Moth Walter Robbins of the Atomic Shalal has answered the sunset call and has gone to meet higher command.
Walter said to the man who stood at the gate of the year, "Give me a light that I may tread safely into the unknown." And he replied, "Go out into the darkness and place your hand in the hand of God. That for you is safer than a light and better than the known way." So Walter went forth, and finding the hand of God, trod gladly into the night, and God led Walter toward the hills and the breaking of a new day. Brother Moths, we have been called together to pay our respects to a departed comrade who is attending his last parade. He will no longer be called to take the moth salute to others who have passed before him, for where he has gone, they waited to welcome him. We offer our deepest sympathy to Moth Walter's family and friends for their great loss. Let them be assured that they do not grieve alone, and take comfort in the hope that from this sorrow can grow a thankfulness for the many happy memories of Moth Walter that will always be recalled and remembered. We as Moths are honoured to have had him within our ranks. He will always remain our brother in arms. Moths, attention. Sergeant Major.
Moth salute.
In true comradeship, mutual help and sound memory, and in proud thanksgiving, we remember our departed comrade, Moth Walter. He shall not grow old as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary him, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember him.
We will remember him.
So, Major.
Drop salute. Stand at ease.
ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the mock service. I now call on Andre to say a few words.
Thank you, Rob. Can everybody hear me, or do I need a mic? Does everyone hear me? Great. So firstly, just some notes of thanks, I think, is a starting point here. And I'd just like to thank you for all those who have supported the family during this very difficult time. To the Motts specifically, thank you for ensuring that my father received such an honourable send-off at a place that he felt home amongst his comrades. To Dave and to Rob specifically as well, thank you for your support through this. It was completely amazing. To Trevor Bamforth, thank you for the plaques. You'll see one on the memorial board as you walk in, and then also the one at his spot at the bar. And I'm going to be sure to be having a beer at that spot this afternoon too. To Leslie, special thank you from the family. Always been a rock to lean on during those difficult years, especially when my sister and myself were not around. And then just thank you to everybody that turned out to celebrate his life today, from Annalie, his wife, his daughter Renal, husband Tyron, two children Ariana and Juliana, my wife Antonia, my son Carden, and myself. So a little bit about Walter Henry Robbins. He was born on the 11th of July 1948, and he left us on the 22nd of June 2021. He came from pioneering stock, descendants of John Stuart Talbot and Priscilla Talbot, who settled in South Africa in 1920 and later tracked north in Oxwagons to settle in Rhodesia. He was born in Bulawayo and raised by Henry Carden Robbins and Winifred Francis Robbins. My father told stories of a marvelous childhood, one of which I could only be envious of. Running barefoot in the bush, shooting, fishing, riding donkeys, and of course bunking school, apparently under a bridge somewhere. He had two brothers, Eric and Reg, and a sister, Sylvia. And she's actually here with us today, and it's really meaningful that you can come through. He met my mother in 1973 at a very unlikely event, pork spearless. I say it is unlikely because he never ever mastered the art of speaking Afrikaans. Not long after, he married the love of his life in 1975, and they spent a wonderful 46 years together. What made my dad exceptional? I think he was absolutely generous. He always put others first, and he came here together with my mom. He left our home country to seek a better life for everybody. And I think moving from one country to another is obviously life-changing and traumatic, and some of you here will know what that feels like. And it wasn't without life's inevitable setbacks and difficulties. He made it work. He built himself up professionally, built a wonderful home for my mom, and set up a great foundation for myself and Bruno. Some knew him as Wally, or Wal, and those slightly more courageous used to call him Big W. But that was only after he had had a few whiskies and he was subdued. My father inadvertently set up a deep relationship with my own long-term friends, and we absolutely loved boating with him. We always enjoyed our fishing holidays and that late-night game of chess, where we sometimes had to let him win. He gave us a glimpse of that childhood that he always used to speak about, and I intend to hand that down to my son. He was modest and honourable, and a gift. This is the gift that he taught his family and how he led his household. Mixed in was always this devious sense of humour, and I think some of you will know what I'm talking about, especially in Manteku. And I'm sure that there's a few people that he's scared with these crazy masks that are probably scarred for life. There's a couple of photos here, which you can have a look at later. Dad, we'll miss you dearly. You live on our hearts. Rest in peace. We love you. I'll just close out by a couple of notes, just one from my sister and then one from my mom. And then after that, I'll ask anyone else who wants to say a few words. So from my sister Renal. Dearest Dad, how I'm going to miss your ever-present strength in my life. The memories of the very last visit I had with you will carry me on for many years to come. The time we spent together that day, just the two of us, I'll cherish forever. The prayers, the hugs, and the hair ruffles. Mama? That day, I was giving you a hospital manicure, and as sick as you were, you still found the oomph to prank me into thinking I'd clipped your finger instead of the nail. And boy, did you laugh. And then so did I eventually when I figured out what you're up to. I'm going to miss being pranked by you and being teased the heck out of you. Thank you, Dad, for all the life lessons and all the times that you saved me when I needed you to. Thank you for all your sacrifices that you made for us. Thank you for the special childhood holiday memories that we probably couldn't afford, but you and Mom always seemed to make a plan. I'm working hard to give that gift to your grandchildren. I know this will make you happy, and you'll be with us in spirit on each and every trip. And Ty and I will be sure to have a whiskey in your honor. Thank you, Dad, for being the best dad and grandpa, gone from earth, but always alive in my heart. Love you forever. Now. From his wife, Annalie. To my soulmate, Wally. What a beautiful journey of life our life has been. So many blessings, such gratitude, a feast of memories and joys through health and in sickness. What a gallant fight for life. What endurance. What perseverance. I'm still at awe at your determination and caliber. With all the odds stacked against you, speaks of your heart and your strength. Amazing husband, loving father, adoring grandfather, loyal friend, committed model, dedicated safety professional, and passionate fisherman. Your legacy will continue in our lives as always. Till we meet again. Annalie.
Is there anybody else that would like to say a few words about Wally? If not, I'd like to say a few words. Firstly, on behalf of the order, Moth Wally was an incredible person. If we have a look in the bar inside there, we will see his handiwork. In 1999, well, let's start before that. In the early 90s, Wally joined Atomic Shellhole. And in 1997, he took on the onerous task of adjutant. For those that don't understand what adjutant is, it's secretary of the shellhole. So he had to take copious quantities of minutes, particularly when we had the likes of Doug Butler, and you used to keep meetings going for hour after hour after hour. Wally did a fine job for 14 years. Until he decided it was time to pack up, which he did. And I'm happy to say the person that took over from him has done it for 10 years so far. Moth Wally, in 1999, when we were given this additional space in the shell hole, they broke through concrete, bricks, and they built a bar. How much of building of the bar Wally did, I don't know, because I wasn't here. I was away in the bush. When I came back, the bar counter had been built, but the cupboards above the bar counter were not existent. Wally got in on his own with very little help, and he built all those. Wally was the type of person I could certainly rely on. When we had an event like we're having today, it was just a case of, Walter, you know what to do. And the plaques would be done, and they would be in place on the bar counter and on the memorial board. The honours board, it hasn't been done for 4 years because Wally wasn't here to do them. Wally was meticulous. Every year he used to take those boards to somebody and have the new names put up. When it came to maintenance in the shell hole, and despite the fact that we had 2 qualified electricians, they did nothing. We had to rely on Wally to do all the electrical work here, and he did it with aplomb. Plumbing, Walter. Leaking pipe, Walter. We need a geyser put in, Walter. He was there to do it. I don't know how this shell is going to survive without Wally, but we have found a couple of new guys as well, despite the electricians saying no, they will not do it. Wally will be remembered by the shell hole. Then on a lighter note, Wally Wallington, as I call him at times. There was one word that drove Wally insane.
No.
That was the F word. If Wally heard the F word inside there, he didn't bother to phone Only, he just packed his stuff and he was ready to go. That F word is fishing. Be it up at Jacini, at the Tugela Mouth, Durban Harbour, or Monteku. I think his favourite was Monteku. To the extent that we used to go down there once or twice a year to one of our moth members' cottage down there. Wally enjoyed himself so much that the one year we were going down there and we were short of a 4x4. Nothing to Wally, he said, I'll take my car.
Mama.
I'll take my car. Wally, are you mad? I'll take my car. Those roads going down to Monteco, particularly the decline at the end, even a 4x4 battles to get down there. But Wally in his motor car, not a problem. He and Andre travelled down in the motor car. I'll never forget that. How he got back to Howick, I have no idea. But Wally was the original joker. The one time we were down there, Wally had this wicked sense of humour, and I think he must have learnt it from the enemy when he was in the Rhodesian Regiment, fighting against the enemy. Because he became the epitome of a terrorist. He had these most despicable masks. Some of them you'll see there. And he used to go around in the early evening when he probably had 1 or 6. And he used to put these masks on. And he used to terrorize the hell out of the gillies. To the extent that the gillies, we battled to find gillies in the end. And then eventually they stopped coming with the bait, which was the crayfish. Some of us wanted to eat it, of course. And I think Wally wanted it. But then he started behaving himself, particularly when he was wandering around with a mask and he didn't see a slight decline. And Wally stepped into the decline and the body said, well, I've had enough of you, and fell over. And he rolled down the bank to extreme laughter from his fellow moths. One of the few times, oh yes, and from the gillies as well. One of the early times we went down there, after a particularly long session in the evening, Wally decided it was time to go to bed, which I don't blame him, because I should have gone to bed at the same time as well. And as he was walking into the rondavel, he stumbled and fell into the arms of this beautiful outboard motor. We are convinced that he waltzed the night away. Wally was an absolute character. The times that we went down to Monteco, I don't think he even knew what a fishing rod looked like. But he went along there, he had his kiddie with him, his walking stick. And there are some photographs somewhere around there where Wally is sitting up at Darney's seat at Bronzy Bay, with his stick there ready. He took control of everything. And if anybody was supposed to be fishing and they didn't have a bait in the water, Wally would reprimand them. That was Wally. He and his cohorts, Percy Wilson, Mike Lemon, they bossed us all around. But Wally was the champion. And just for that, we will never forget him. Okay? That's my lot. There will be snacks and refreshments in the shell hole. Some of us are going to go down to the Garden of Remembrance just to do the committal. And on behalf of the family, thank you very much for your attendance. Much appreciated. Thank you. What's attention? Moths to harmony. Dismiss.
Oh, wait. That's him. He turned this way. He wanted to see.
Sorry, we've got a female in the ambulance and she doesn't know how to talk. Sorry, excuse me.
To the camera.
Did he take these?
You hold 5 roses at a time.
No, I only ordered them, my darling.
With one hand.
He just
Stand
don't
your,
have a
can you stand your in respect for them?
Okay, and you want the black, eh?
You don't sell them.
You can take one.
Mama, I'm gonna take yours.
We commit the remains of our dear brother, Moth Walter, to the elements. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And we commend Moth Walter to the just, merciful judgment of who has perfected understanding. Amen. Let us say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Moths, attention. Moth salute. He shall not grow old as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary him, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember him.
We will remember.
Drop salute. Stand at ease.
Thank you. Now we'll go to the area.
Silence isn't good. Take the extra one. Just a second, but I'm not.
There's not social when it's not right. I'm gonna literally eat the whole bag in one handful. One handful, eat the whole bag of both.
You want to Winnie Robbins? What does it say? Beloved father, beloved husband, devoted father, and grandfather. He loved you guys, eh?
Cherished, loved,
Cherished house. So what is that up beneath there? Psalm 23.